Joker is confirmed to be an R-rated standalone superhero movie. And I say superhero lightly because it's not really a superhero movie. It's about a supervillain who may or may not be tied to other DC movies. We don't know because of little things here and there. But as it stands, Joker is a standalone supervillain story that's rated R. We all know this, and I think everybody was really hesitant about this movie existing at first. I know I was, because it kind of seemed like something that didn't need to exist, a film about the Joker. A lot of the Joker's appeal has been his mystery, so to flesh him out kind of seemed like a weird decision, but he's already getting really, really good positive reviews and reactions from critics, especially on Rotten Tomatoes. The film's sitting between an 86 and an 88% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. It fluctuated a little bit, fresh. So that's a really, really good sign. On top of that, since this is an R-rated movie, there are concerns going into a project like that it's not going to recoup costs or be very profitable. When you look at something like Avengers Endgame or Venom, which both, even though they can have adult moments in them, stay just PG-13 enough to not fall into that R rating ever. They want to bring those kids into those movies. That makes Hollywood studios actually be a little hesitant about going all in on an R-rated concept. So why are we bringing this up? There's actually two reasons. The first is that Joker is currently projected to be one of the highest opening R-rated movies of all time. It's projected to open between 85 and 105 million. And a lot of analysts right now are placing it closer to that 100 million mark for the opening weekend, which is nuts for an R-rated movie. This would make it the fourth highest R-rated opening of all time. Obviously, this would be behind Deadpool. That was at 132 million. Deadpool 2 was 125 million, and It was 123 million. Those stats are collected by CBR.com in order to just give a little bit of a comparison. And on top of that, Justice League opened at only 93.8 million. So this is a DC film that's rated R. It's supposed to open probably around $100 million, and it's going to be a higher opening than Justice League, which was rated PG-13. I think that is nuts in and of itself. So any studios that were thinking like R-rated movies can't make money, Joker's here obviously to prove them wrong, just like Deadpool did. The surprising thing about that, though, is that it recently came out that the Joker director, Todd Phillips, spent about a year just trying to convince Warner Brothers to actually say yes to an R-rated movie. This was chronicled in an IndieWire article, which I've linked in the description down below, but I thought it was really interesting because there have been previous R-rated films, even in the superhero genre, like Deadpool and Logan, that were smash hits. And this was still something that was hard to convince Warner Brothers of. And even though Warner Brothers also own It, which grossed $700 million, they still were like, oh, I don't know about this Joker movie as far as actually making it rated R. So Todd Phillips actually talked about this whole process, and he said that he would even be speaking to executives and he'd get emails like, you realize we sell Joker pajamas at Target. And he had to navigate all these hurdles because, you know, when you're a big company like Warner Brothers, you don't want to hurt the brand of a character like this. Now, Joker is demented and insane, but there are also interpretations of him that they are able to gear more towards children, or at least make just appropriate enough that children are able to watch it or read it. But the Joker movie was not going to be that. This R-rated version was going to include tons of violence and really focus on a mental health aspect too of the Joker, which you can see in these trailers that have been released regarding the film. So this was a tough sell. I just thought it was really interesting to point out because even though we're now hitting a point where there is a precedent that R-rated movies can have huge openings, studios are still hesitant to actually make them. Another thing that's likely to help the Joker out is just the huge amount of people that are upset at the movie already. Granted, if you're upset about something, you probably are not the one going to see it, But the fact that people are giving this movie tons of free promotion online, especially on Twitter, with entire controversies that people are having over a movie that's not even released yet, I think that's really going to help that movie too, because this is really just free promotion for the Joker. And because it's already that R-rated, hardcore, psychological crowd that they're going for, along with bringing people into a more artsy movie, which I hate the word artsy, but that is kind of what this seems to be going for, I don't think they're really sweating the people that are triggered about the movie. There's a lot of people online that are already upset and levying insults at the Joker film because it's glorifying what I've seen described as like an incel idea, because Joker is this, I don't want to call him a loser, but he's essentially this character who is stuck, from at least what we see in the trailers, at home. He lives with his mother, he takes care of her, and then he goes out and he kind of works a dead-end job where he's not appreciated and people hate him. And it seems to build towards this idea that at some point he just snaps. And people are like, wow, this is another movie glorifying this incel type white character who gets pushed too far. What people don't realize is that this is really just bringing so much more attention to Joker that the film is just going to make more and more and more money off this outrage. And that really easily could have been one of the goals to the movie's marketing. We have no idea. But that happens all the time, is that marketing teams capitalize on something being edgy or dark or psychological or whatever and get people upset about it, and then they make a ton of money off it. So that's really funny to me too, because one, this movie looks amazing to me, and two, if it's really pissing off a bunch of people that have way too much time on their hands, that, I don't know, I'm already in. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you excited to see Joker? Are you excited about the direction this film is going, or are you going to skip on this one? What's your favorite version of the Joker? Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.